superheroes, we see their powers first and their challenges after. And we empathize with their struggles as they embrace their powers and become the heroes that we know and love. I have a question for you. Are you using the superpowers associated with your neurodivergence diagnosis? Now, you might be wondering what I'm talking about. Why would I use superpowers to discuss something as serious as a neurodivergence diagnosis? You know, what some people call a learning disorder. Now, most of us with a neurodivergence diagnosis and lived experience are more than well aware of the grief, pain, and suffering associated with being told that we are daydreamers or disruptive, frustrating or flaky. And I'm pretty sure we've all lost count of how many times we've heard, I don't know why you just don't get it like everybody else. Can't you focus and try harder? We are all familiar with social isolation, depression, anxiety, and likely the trauma that comes from years of being dealt with this way. So, how could I possibly think that there's something like a superpower associated with these experiences? My lived experience of neurodivergence diagnoses and that of my children and our love of comics and movies that had superhero characters came together in a very unexpected way. And it caused me to flip the script on how we see ourselves and our diagnoses and became the framework for transforming our lives. I recognized that for all the grief these diagnoses had caused, they had also contributed to our successes, emotional intelligence, and the assets and gifts that we bring to the world. But that realization didn't happen until I was in my 40s and after a great deal of suffering. I wish I had grown up with my neurodivergence diagnoses identified earlier, and that I'd been given an understanding and appreciation for the gifts that they had given me, rather than just the pain, suffering, and stigma that I'd experienced. And I wanted my kids, and now my grandkids, to have a better experience than I had growing up. Now, when I ask if someone is using their neurodivergent superpowers, it's to get them thinking about how they see themselves and their diagnoses. Because we are defined by labels that see us as disordered and deficient. When the names of our diagnoses have stigma baked right in, it's no surprise that we experience stigma from those around us and that we even internalize it and have problems with self-confidence. Now, as superheroes, we see their powers first and their challenges after. And we empathize with their struggles as they embrace their powers and become the heroes that we know and love. I want others to see their assets first too, so that they can embrace their superpowers to not only survive and better manage their diagnoses, but to thrive and succeed because of them, not despite them, and so that they can be spared the delay on reframing that I had and get the early and strong start that I missed out on. Now, because neurodivergence diagnoses are cloaked in stigma, which, as I've said before, gets internalized and doubles down on our pain and suffering, I understand that there might be some folks wondering how I could dare to think there were any parts of a diagnosis that could be called superpowers, something that most of us see as positives and great gifts. However, the true nature of superpowers is that they also bring challenges and even suffering, unless understood, supported, and harnessed. With superheroes, we see the positives first and the challenges afterwards, and people empathize with struggling heroes. With neurodivergence, only the challenges are seen, and judgment and stigma outweigh empathy. Flipping the script on our diagnosis with a superhero model ultimately defeats stigma by leading with our strengths, managing our challenges, and viewing ourselves with empathy, and creating the opportunity for others to see us through this reframed, destigmatizing, and empowering perspective. Let me give you some examples from our family and our neurodivergence reframing through the world of superheroes. The ability to see things from numerous and often even conflicting perspectives has helped each of us in life and school. It's helped me in debates, diplomacy, and research, and my kids and I are able to connect dots that others can't even see. Which, while it often means we need to, give thorough explanations for ideas that we would see as straightforward, it also means that we have each been able to develop new and innovative ideas. For me, it's ranged from legislation, research, and teaching concepts. And for my kids, it's been some exceptionally creative projects. All ideas and projects and things we've accomplished that no one else anticipated or expected to be possible once we began. While officially our diagnosis is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, we prefer the more accurate and non-stigmatizing variable attention stimulus trait, or VAST. And we see ourselves like the X-Men's Nightcrawler, who is able to teleport between places or within one space and see it from a number of perspectives. We see things from a number of perspectives and see them in relation to ideas, issues, and subjects that others might not see as being any way connected or related. However, with this ability, as I said, we can see and connect dots that others might not even know exist, providing answers, solutions, and insights, and some pretty creative outcomes. So just as some find night crawlers popping in and out disconcerting and they just want them to stay put, there is a misperception that we can't sit still and focus. But what we really possess is a divergent focus, where there is either a desire to keep moving on to the next idea or to pursue the current one uninterrupted to see where exactly it's going to take us. Just as Nightcrawler can teleport across vast distances, we too have vast minds. I'm proud of both of my sons, and it's my youngest who has experienced the greatest misunderstandings and challenges with his neurodivergence. He is bright and creative. Let him loose with Lego Minecraft or a video camera, and you'll never know what to expect. In elementary school, he used Minecraft to build models that explained the workings of 2 different types of proton accelerators. In middle school, he built a complex world that included topography, rich interplay of plants and animals, factoring in how they had evolved to coexist, and developed a history that included cultural and political evolution with elaborate traditions that tied back to the natural and cultural history. His love of tinkering turned out to be the early stages of exploring his incredible spatial skills and fascination with complex ideas. So he's our go-to guy when something needs to be fixed and the one who builds and modifies our computers. My youngest kid is my whiz kid, like Takashi Mitsuya of the X-Men. He lives with dyslexia and he is a misread creator. They are both highly intelligent and possess incredible creative, technical, and spatial skills and the ability to see how things work and interact. They share the ability to explore and transform existing items into new forms, whether it's Take transforming Professor X's hover chair to be space-worthy, or my son building virtual proton accelerators or upgrading our computers. Or they even create entirely new items, often from scratch and whatever's at hand. Like others who share their diagnosis, some of their biggest challenges come when they are unfairly limited to expressing their intelligence and creativity with only the written word. And they thrive when able to explore and express themselves in mediums and forms where these ideas naturally emerge and where they are naturally able to express them. If you're like me and you want to find assets where others see liabilities, or you want to feel strength and healing where you're used to feeling powerlessness and pain, reframing your diagnosis is an easy and effective way to find and start to use your neurodivergent superpowers. One of my favorite reframes is called obstacle to opportunity, because it helps us overcome the stigma that we face from the labels and judgments others place on us, and that we usually internalize in the form of our inner critic. This exercise also shuts down these things by reminding ourselves that what we do well and that we can love being different. You can do this with a piece of paper. It's super simple. Divide it into 2 columns. And on the left side of the column, write obstacle, what they see. On the right side, write opportunity, what I see. Now, while I'm showing a physical list, there's different ways of doing these things. If you're someone like my son, you might want to record these things in a format that works for you to make a comparative list so that you can compare obstacles to opportunities and most conveniently reframe in a way that works for your superpowers. Now, under obstacle, write the differences, especially the ones that you associate with your diagnosis, that others tend to point out negatively. And under opportunity, you're going to consider what they are missing out on from your gifts, but also what you're missing out on based on your ability to showcase these things. if you see them as the gifts and the powers that they are. So, for example, like my son, does your love of dismantling things annoy others because they think you're going to break something, even though you always seem to put that stuff back properly? Wait a minute. You've got curiosity and skills understanding how things work and how to fix them. A dyslexia-related superpower. And the opportunity is that you are the person that can understand how to fix, build, or upgrade things, and also know when to call the professionals in, rather than someone else trying to DIY it and make things worse. Chances are you're the person who needs to be called before one of your co-workers breaks the jam photocopier. With this example, under obstacles, you would write, they see me as messing with things and doubt my abilities because they don't possess those abilities. Under opportunity, you would write, I see that I possess spatial skills and technical understanding to figure out how things work and either fix them or know when to call someone to do it properly and when it can be done under warranty. Come up with 3 or 4 more examples to begin to explore how your differences provide opportunities that you can reframe, embrace, and showcase. And for this and other superhero reframes, you can click on the link below for a free superhero workbook or to check out the Embrace Your Superpowers program, including our new online membership community at www.speak-up.co. And don't forget to post your comments and questions below. Like and share this video, and if you want more superhero tools and perspectives, subscribe to this channel and follow Speak Up on social media. Bye-bye.